Okay, let's pray. Father, thank you again this evening as we share together with trust to help us by your spirit. Help us to learn to be better leaders, better pastors, better Christians in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Okay, so today I want to look, it's the end of the year. This is the last meeting for the year. Thank God for his mercies. And I guess by now, our plans for next year should be virtually in place. So what I want to look at today is how to translate our desires into reality. Because sometimes, and like I normally say, these principles apply in our private life, and also, you can what? Okay, sorry. So these principles can apply both in our private lives, but I always focus on church. So the notice that I sent out is think it, see it, dream it, say it, do it, and have it. So that's the summary of what I will share briefly. Think it, see it, dream it, say it, do it, and have it. Think it, see it, dream it, say it, do it, and have it. Now, because there is a danger in ministry, especially, to keep doing the same thing and expect different results. Usually in our private lives, it's not a very strong likelihood, but in ministry, you are likely to keep doing the same thing and expect different results. You are holding the same kind of meeting year after year, and you expect things to change. It doesn't work like that. You need to do a critical review of what you have been doing, what we have been doing in 2024, and then see where we need to make changes or not. We can't keep doing the same things and expect different. That's why many times, churches don't grow. Anything, they grow minimally because they're just recycling old methods, old systems, and life doesn't work like that. So we need to regularly review our operations. And there are four ways to do that, basically. You review it in the place of prayers. Lord, what are we doing? How are we doing in our Bible study, prayer meetings, leadership development? You spend time to pray. What do you want us to do afresh? So you review operations, one, in prayer. Two, you consult the Holy Spirit to do a review. Sometimes you need to change the format of your meetings. Holy Ghost will tell you to do that. So review by the Spirit. Number three, sometimes you need to, review your operations with your team. And that's one thing we do here every month. It's a kind of review and preview every month to do. So you need to review with your team. And then the last way to review is to check your results. If you are not having results, then you are doing something wrong. It's as simple as that. So you read the prayers by the Holy Ghost with your team, and then check your results. If you are not getting the results, there's something they're doing that is wrong, or something you should be doing that you're not doing. So if your finances are not improving, attendance is not improving, then there's something wrong somewhere. You're not doing what you're supposed to do, or you're not doing it properly. So we need to do a review. That's the first thing. So the review basically will involve four things. One, where are we coming from? Where are we coming from? Like I said, you need to do this for your private life, also your business, your career. Where are we coming from? So look at where you're coming from. So that's why you have statistics, for example, your attendance, your offering, those who attend meetings, those involved in active ministry. Where are we coming from? Then number two, where are we now? Where are we now? Check your progress. Where are we now? And then number three, where are we going? Where are we going? So what is your plan? Where are we going? We'll look at details very soon. Where are we going? What is the ideal that we are projecting? We are planning and trusting for. Where are we going? Because you don't sit down and do these things. You keep doing the same thing. Sunday meeting, Wednesday meeting, Friday meeting. Sunday meeting, Wednesday meeting, Friday meeting. You have mentor leaders, head of department. You are doing the same thing, and then it leads to frustration because there's no growth. So where are we coming from? Give that boy Indomie or whatever he wants it.
What did they say that?
Okay. Where are we coming from? Where are we now? So you must do a critical analysis of where you are. You have to be brutally honest with yourself. Where are we going? What is the ideal? Because sometimes we have a lot of ideals, but we are not working towards it practically. Then what do we need to do to move from where we are to where we want to be? So we're going to look at some few things today to help us in that regard. So we'll have a different 2025 of results. So you need to have expectations. Sometimes, we don't have great expectations for church sometimes. We're just coasting along. So we need to have expectations. Without expectations, there's nothing God can work with. So we need to have, expectations and means to carry out the expectations. So let's look at some few things to help us. Number one, we need to have goals as a church. Each church must have goals. It's not just we emphasizing members must have goals. What are the church goals? Of course, goals are the purpose towards which you want to direct your resources to accomplish. So what are the purposes, the end to which you want to direct your resources to accomplish? So where do you want to direct your time, your finances, personnel, anointings, graces, giftings? Where do you want to channel all these things towards? You must have church goals. So goals give you targets. Goals give you targets and help you to direct your focus. Like I said, it's easy to in church to just keep doing the same thing year after year. And then sometimes we blame the devil. It's not the devil. It's because we don't have goals. Now, of course, I don't need to talk much about our personal goals. For your personal goals, by now, everybody should know that you should have goals in terms of your health, your spiritual life, your ministry, career, business, your finance, family goals, and kingdom operations. But for church goals, let me give you some few tips as to church goals. At least five other areas you can focus on. You must have goals for the spiritual growth of the church. That's very difficult to measure, but you must still have certain. So you must have certain parameters for measuring the spiritual growth of the church. That comes from the interaction with the people, the attendance of meeting. And that's why sometimes you need to do question and answer sessions. Question and answer sessions shows you how people are growing spiritually by the kind of questions they're asking. So you must have spiritual goals. Now, the easiest one and the most difficult to accomplish sometimes is numerical goals. You must have, if you don't have goals, there's nothing you're working towards. So how many are you now? We usually judge our number based on Sunday attendance because we don't contribute for many reasons, work, time, and all that. But what is your average Sunday attendance? We send statistics every quarter as much as we can. So what is your average Sunday attendance? So I'm going to give us targets this year. I call it the 50-50, Operation 50-50. By convention, you should increase your attendance by at least 50%. I've never given targets. This year we're going to give targets. So between now and convention, it should increase by at least 50%. And that is very simple. So your attendance now is 20, for example. By convention, should be 30. That simply means if everybody, because again, if you want to have 10 members, you must invite 20 members. Because some will come and not stay, some will attend and leave. So if every member brings one person a month to church, by May, you will have increased by at least, worst case scenario, 50%. So if you are 20 now, for example, and everybody brings one person in the month, so January, February, March, April, May, that's, how many is that? 20 times 5. I hope I'm correct. One person in the month, and there are 20 of us. Let's assume only 10 of us obey to bring people. So 10 of us bring one person a month. In 5 months, we'll have gotten 50 new members. Because if you don't have targets like this, you just say we are praying for people and all that. It doesn't work. So 50% within a convention. So it means if each person brings one person in a month, which is very, very. Now the problem is most of our people don't have non-Christian friends. So they go and import somebody from Redeem or from Foursquare, and then they will enjoy the service and go back. So that's why when I look at strategy later, I look at strategy. So by convention, you have 50. So your average Sunday attendance now, 50%. And then by the end of the year, carries another 50% of the attendance in May. So goals, if you don't have goals, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You just realize, things are not working. So you must have spiritual growth goals. And that, I said, that is equal to measure. But you know that by doing question and answer session, by interaction with people, numerical goals. So everybody must have the number you're expecting. Number 3, financial goals. Look at your, don't do emotional goals. Look at your finances the last 1 year. How's the finances been? And then project on what you're trusting God for your financial goals. So where I sent out already a questionnaire to help us in terms of some of these things. So check your finances. Are people paying tithes? Are people giving offering? No one way to look at it is, at the end of a month, add all your income together or add all your tithes at the end of a month together. Divided by the number of people that come to church. Or rather, multiply by those that come to church by times 10. You know how much people are earning in a month. And most times it is not accurate. So tithe is 10% of people's income. So find out how many people are in church compared with the tithes multiplied by, is it 10% or whatever, times 10. That shows you sometimes people are not paying tithe, So part of the strategy you look at that later is, are you going to do financial seminars, teach on giving, teach on how to run business, teach on how to manage your finances. So you must have financial goals. The 4th area for goals is project goals. One of the things as a church is every church must have its own building. Every church must have its own building. So that's part of your goals for 2025. It might not necessarily happen in 2025, but you are working towards it. You can't keep paying rent every year, It's not good financial stewardship. So you must have goals towards at least having a property. Now, you see, one of my friends told me sometime ago, and it's very, very important, that if a church is interested in a piece of land, nobody else will buy it until the church is ready or until the church has the money. So have project goals. One of the things to do is maybe once a month, do a project offering for our building. It might not be much, but at least you're creating an awareness. Have project goals. You can decide you want to change your equipment. If you don't have these goals, it's not going to happen. So have project goals. And then number 5, have leadership development goals. How many leaders do you want to raise in 2025? 5, 6, 10, whatever. Have leadership development goals. So that means how many will go to CMTI? How many will attend them? Next year, I'm going to do masterclass every month. How many of you will you co-opt to attend masterclass? Because if you don't raise leaders, you'll be doing more work than you're supposed to do. So those are 5 areas you need to have goals. Spiritual goals, numerical growth goals, financial goals, project leadership development. So if you're going to have a successful 2025, you must have goals which are written down, not in your head, written down. So you know what you're targeting. Now, once you have your goals, I'm going to use numerical as my case study. The next thing is employ the power of imagination. Employ the power of imagination. Ephesians 3:20 says, now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we may ask or think. Imagination. So that simply means see the accomplishment of your goals in your mind. So when you get to church, see the whole church filled with people. Employ the power of imagination. You see the church filled with people. You see all the chairs filled up. See the new building you're moving to. Genesis 13:15, God told Abraham, all the land which thou seest, for thee will I give it. So what are you seeing? What are you seeing? Are you seeing all the chairs filled? The power of imagination. Sometimes you need to put a picture in your office or your phone to see what you are trusting God for. Like I said, this applies to private life also. See it in picture, see it in your mind. Employ the power of imagination. Get to the church and see the chairs filled up. You are praying around the church, see the chairs filled up. Have it on your phone, and all that. Number 3 is meditation. Meditate on your goals. Meditate on your goals. So if you want the church to be filled up with people, meditation means you think deeply over. Just sit down and, think deeply over, Joshua 1:8 says, this book of the law shall not part of your mouth, but that shall meditate there and day and night, that thou mayest observe to do. So just sit down, meditate, think deeply over. If this church doubles in attendance, what's going to happen? They are meditating. And you see, sometimes we're not prepared for this sense. If your church doubles, if you have not meditated upon it, it's not going to happen. So if your church doubles, do you have enough ushers? Do you all that? So meditation, you think deeply over you that this goal is possible. So you imagine it, you meditate, think deeply over it, see yourself purchasing the property, see yourself having leaders, see yourself seeing others who go preach, meditate, think about it. If this thing happens, what's going to happen to me? See people growing and all that. Many times, if you're not careful, you're meditating on problems. Avoid meditating on problems. Meditate on problems, you're aggravating the problem. Meditate more on the solution. So meditation is important. Number 4 is confession. Confession. Divided in 2 dimensions. Number 1, never ever speak against your desires. Never ever speak against your goals. The people are not serious. Avoid such dangerous statements. People are not committed. Now that actually placing a cross over the people. So what you're saying is you're pastoring on serious people. You're pastoring on committed people. So never speak against your desires, your goals, your expectations. People don't give. These days, the way the economy is, people don't give. Then you have placed a cross over your finances. Leaders don't talk about problems with profound solutions. People are not giving, then it's your job to make sure they give. So never speak against your desires. Christianity these days is watered down. So you're going to have a watered down Christianity church. So never speak against your desires, your goals. Number 2, under confession, speak your desires out. Speak them out. You possess what you say. You have what you say. So speak those as a confession. Find scriptures that lead to your goals and speak them out as a confession. As a confession on a daily basis. 2, 3 times, 4 times, your confession. Then the next, number 5, is declarations. Declaration is different from confession. A declaration is like a decree. It's like a decree. You're speaking it into existence because you have an assurance. Because you've meditated upon it, you are confessing it, you have that assurance. They are now making declarations. Ecclesiastes 8:4 says, where the word of a king is, there is power. Where the word of the king, there's power. You're a king, they are decreeing. I declare every chair in this church is filled to capacity. I declare we have more than enough finances to do the work of the ministry. I declare people are committed, faithful. They are declaring. They are not praying, they are declaring. Job 22:28. Job 22, decrees shall be established unto you. You declare declarations. Sometimes on the put they are making say, very soon you'll be surprised. One day every chair in this church will be filled up at every meeting. That's a declaration. One day we need 5 million naira. One of you will say, this is a check for 5 million naira. Pastor, don't raise your offering. Those are declarations. So declare your goals. Declare your goals out. In the place of when you pray, declare it out. Declare it out. Number 6, action steps. So after you've done all these things, which are basically spiritual things, apart from goal setting, is
we can't hear Pastor again. No, I think it's internet.
Yes, I think so. We can't hear him yet.
You will have lost the video.
Yeah, it will come back. I guess
It must be his link, his internet. Yeah.
The internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. He's out. It will come back on now.
Yeah.
okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. The internet.
Welcome back, sir.
Welcome back, sir. It's the internet, I guess.
Yes, I have to change the data usage. Okay. So I was saying action steps. And this is where the rubber meets the road. Action steps. The how of executing the goals. How do we get 50 new members? How do we get the property? How do you raise leaders? This is the how. So the first how is prayers. Lord, for wisdom. Every day pray for wisdom. Pray for strategy. Proverbs 16:3. Proverbs 16:3 message says, put God in charge of your work. Then what you have planned will take place. Very important. Proverbs 16:3 message. Put God in charge of your work. Then what you have planned will take place.
Me, sir. Sorry, sir. We need your video, sir.
Oh, my video is off?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just a minute. Let me.
Sorry, sir.
No. Okay, fine. Yeah, I didn't know it was off. Okay. So let me just go back again. So number 6 is action steps. Action steps. The how of getting your goals to be executed. The how of executing your desires, your goals, your plans for the church, whether it's for the church or for yourself. Number 1 is prayer. Every day. Let no day pass when you're asking God for wisdom. Wisdom and strategy. How do we get 50 members? How do you raise the funds? How do you get the property? How do I pay my school fees? The how. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God. Always ask God for wisdom. Then Proverbs 16:3 message. Proverbs 16:3 message says, put God in charge of your work. Then what you have planned will take place. 2 things there. Put God in charge of your work. Then what you have planned will take place. That means you must have a plan for God to make to work. If there's no plan, what is God working on? That's why the issue of goals is important. Don't just say, I'm believing God that this year be our best year. Some of these religious cliches that have no meaning. Put God in charge of your work, then what you have planned will take place. Your goals are set, then ask God for wisdom, then what you have planned will take place. Proverbs 21:5 NLT. Proverbs 21:5 NLT. Good planning and hard work leads to prosperity. So planning and work. So let's look at some action steps we need to take. I'll just look at some of them. I can't go to full detail because of the time frame. Number 1, Proverbs 21:5 NLT. Proverbs 21:5 NLT. Good planning and hard work lead to prosperity. Good planning and hard work. So it's not just planning, having goals. There's hard work. Now, many times pastors, they pray hard, but they work wrong. They work wrong and they speak wrong. I said, don't speak against your goals. There's certain work you need to do, practical. So let's look at some of the things we need to. Number one, you need to have a budget. You want to run a meeting, what's the budget? The income, the expenditure. You can't run a seminar, run a meeting without having a budget. So where will money come from? Where will money go to? Then you must balance your budget. Worst case scenario, income must be equal to budget, income must go to expenditure. Ideally, income should be more than expenditure. So you have budget for your meetings. And then regularly say I can prune down your expenditure. Because you apply this to our private lives, don't apply to church sometimes. So it's important to have a budget. So you want to have a special meeting, how much, what's the budget? Tithes, offering, donations, whatever, Thanksgiving, expenditure, petrol, diesel, transport, and all that. You must balance it. So have a budget. Have a budget for know where money is going to. So track your money. You must, where is money going to? Where is money coming from? So tithes, offering, Thanksgiving. So your income head as a church must be included, of course, basically includes tithes, offering, Thanksgiving. Now we're talking of project offering or building offering. So all that money for building or project, of course, you don't pay central on all those ones. It's put in a separate account. That's how we did in the headquarters. Sometimes the building offering is outrageous. Sometimes it's as ridiculous as sometimes as 2,000 naira, 3,000 naira. You can be discouraged and say, what's the point? But see, you're creating the consciousness in the people's mind that you're doing something. And then it shows you're acting by faith. God will now add to it. So don't be inconsistent with your income heads, tithe, offering, Thanksgiving, project offering. So you must have a budget, have expenditure, find ways of, for example, in your expenditure, you can ask people to contribute things to reduce your expenditure, like toiletries. We can give toiletries, soap, tissue paper, air fresheners. That goes out of your expenditure. So that's important. Budget, action plan. Second action plan is what types of meeting are we going to have in 2025? Can't keep doing the same thing, expect different results. What type of meeting are you going to have? Now, every church has a catchment area. What I mean by that, there are certain categories of people that come to each of our churches. We have a general catchment area as Caris, but each Caris church has a segment of people that come more than other segments. In some churches, it's young people. In some churches, they are married people. Some people, they are young couples. There's no church that has elderly people, as far as I know. So in a sense, we are not, elderly people is not our catchment area. So the types of meeting will depend on your catchment area. Focus more on those that come easily. Some churches, they have a lot of married couples, young couples. They don't have too many young people. Some churches, they have a lot of very young people. Some churches, a lot of creative people. So that determines the kind of special meetings you can hold. Of course, your regular meetings are fixed. Sunday, Wednesday, Friday is fixed. Sunday, Wednesday, Friday is fixed. But you see, you cannot run a church with Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. It does not work. So look at your target audience. So you have a lot of creative people, then do a seminar on creativity for people. Let them bring their friends. You have a lot of young people, do meetings on marriage, on love, and all that. People come. Have a lot of young couples, do meetings related to family. So that determines the type of program you're going to have. Action plans. 3, have training schedule. You say one of our goals is leadership development, training schedules. And that's why CMTI has to be a bit more proactive. So who are you sending to CMTI this year? CMTI should start advertising. I've not seen the advert yet. They should already start advertising, be more proactive in their, advertisement. What program schedules are available? Like I said, the masterclass, we do a masterclass every month. January now, we're starting one on purpose for children, for teenagers and adults. So who are you targeting to go to CMTI, to go to masterclass? And then you need to run certain training programs. It doesn't have to be 2 hours, 3 hours. All these things we teach, that's why we try and do recordings and send across. extract them. I've already sent a schedule of training to the WhatsApp group. Doesn't have to be 2 hours. Respect people's time. If it's 15 minutes once a month or twice a month, after service, call 4 people together, teach them what is leadership, what is accountability. If you are not training the people, you cannot blame them. You cannot blame what you don't train for. You can't. That's bad leadership. So 15 minutes on Sunday, call people together. You notice every time I come to Lagos, I do training. It's deliberate. I was in Lagos today. Every time, or almost every time, 99% of the time, I always do a training in leadership when I go to Lagos. It's deliberate. So 10 minutes, 15 minutes, couple together, share some things with them, because people who are serious, some people just want to come to church and go, fine. Sunday, Wednesday, Friday is good, okay for them. But those who want to be leaders, who want to do things in ministry, they want more than Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. So do 10, 15 minutes twice a month. If you're not doing that, then you're not doing well enough. So have a training schedule. We're looking at action steps. Then, what types of outreaches do you want to have in 2025? Most times when we do outreaches, we're not doing outreach, we're doing it in reach. An outreach is where you bring in non-Christians, not that, you bring in other from other churches. So you must have action steps. I'm just, broaching the head of this so we can take action steps. The next thing is you must be cautious about certain things. This is where, many times you get into trouble. You must take caution. Number one, understand the principle of process. The principle of process, that is, small progress is still progress. Many times we despise the days of small beginnings. But the law of process means small progress is progress. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, and a small step is still a step. So never despise small progress. So you have a meeting on Sunday, you have one first-timer. Don't be discouraged. Celebrate that one first-timer. Thank God for that. And make sure that first-timer, you follow up until he abuses you. That's one person. It's not that when you have 10 new people, you are not excited. No, one person should get you excited. The law of process. So never despise small things. You are raising property offering. The offering is 15,000. That doesn't buy much, but you thank God for that's 15,000 less what you need. Never despise small beginnings. Number two, understanding the principle of process, acknowledge and rejoice over small progress. Acknowledge it and rejoice over it. Though your beginning was small, yet latter end shall greatly increase. Most big things start small, so rejoice and thank God for that small progress. Number three, under the law of process, which is very important, never walk by sight. Because you come to church on a Sunday, you have prayed well on Saturday, you prepared, you come on Sunday, and half of the chairs are empty. If you walk naturally, you're going to be discouraged. Your heart will sink. Then it means you're not walking by faith. You have a seminar, you've advertised, you've announced, and all that, and half of the church doesn't show up. If you are discouraged and frustrated, then you're not walking by faith. Then you are prolonging the days of your growth. So we don't walk by sight, but by faith. So that simply means, even if it's one person that shows up, preach as if it's 10,000 people in that place. So don't be discouraged. Don't now say, well, sometimes when people now say, well, don't worry, where towards they are gathered, forget about the empty chairs. No, that's a wrong strategy. Don't ever say that. Doesn't matter. God doesn't deal in numbers. So those of us are here. Don't say that. You have further compounded the problem to the people. So we walk by sight and not by faith. We walk by faith and not by sight. So they don't ever be moved by numbers. Don't let it affect your mood. Don't not get them into lambast where I told you to come and you did not come. Don't worry about that. Do what else also. The law of process. Every big thing starts small. Then the last point, apply the force of patience. What is patience? Doing the same thing consistently. Hebrews 6:10-12. Hebrews 6:10-12. The followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promise. Patience comes with faith. So if you know what you're doing is right, keep your confessions going, keep your declaration going, keep your imagination going, keep meditation going. Those are the things you are doing consistently, no matter who and who is not there. Hebrews 10:36. You have need of patience so that after you have done the will of God, you might inherit the promise. Hebrews 10:36. You need patience after, not before. You have done God to inherit the promise. So patience means I keep doing the same thing. That is my meditation, my confession, my declaration, my walking by faith. I keep doing those things consistently. And as a matter of time, you're going to get the results. I keep seeing the numbers. I keep seeing the attendance. It's in the building. So once in a while, go around town and check where there are empty buildings, where there's land. They're acting on your faith. Sit down there in church, close your eyes, and see the whole church filled with people. Sit down there and see people committed, doing what they're supposed to do. Don't spend time meditating on the problems that you see. That is patience. Apply the force of patience. As you keep doing that, you're meditating, you're confessing, you're declaring. You get to people on the Sunday. You people, very soon you see that you will not have chairs to sit again because we're going to have so many people that you have standing room only. You're doing a declaration. Doing a declaration. Soon and very soon, before we know it, we're going to move to our own property. Declaration. Now, you don't declare every Sunday, but at least you do it regularly. So people are challenged. Our pastor said we're going to go to our own property. Very soon, our own property where we can do what we like. Can spend 10 hours in the service. We want to spend 10 hours. Very soon, we need 5,000 pounds to do something. One of you just send a check of 5,000 pounds. That is, we are consistently doing that. That is the force of patience. So avoid mentioning problems on the pulpit. We need to be more serious in this church. And people are not serious these days with God. Don't give that kind of talk. That is negative talk. It doesn't work. You can call them serious once in a while and tell them, I don't like what you are doing. You need to buckle up and all that. But don't make it a pulpit assignment. So if you apply these things, then we realize that, things are getting better. It takes a process of time. But with time, we begin to see the result we expect. Okay, I'll take some questions if there's any. So please, let's all of us have goals, church goals, very important, written down, and then go through all the steps I've shared with you. And before we know it, 2025 is our best year so far, game changer year. Let's really trust God. Okay, any questions?
Okay.
Yes,
Pastor,
please go ahead, Pastor. Yes,
okay.
Go ahead, Pastor.
Thank you so much, Senior Pastor, for this teaching. I'm just wondering, maybe as not a question, maybe as an addition. You have given us numerical goals as part of this teaching today, and that is that by convention we must grow our numbers by 50%, and then by Carries Day another 50%. I'm just thinking, because this now can form like a common goal for all of us, for all the churches. Is it also possible for us to also have common financial goals and common project goals? Financial goals, just the same way you have given us the numerical goals. Maybe where we are today, we must grow by another 50% or something, so that it is not just limited to the numerical goals, but together all of us can, maybe by this time next year or mid-year, all the churches can come together, review the goals again, see who is doing what, share best practices, anybody who has moved ahead in their goals, how were they able to achieve it? And when they share with all of us, we can also adopt, and then maybe by the end of this year, next year, we'll also look at it and review it again. I'm just thinking if it is possible, all of us have shared goals along all these lines for all the churches. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Pastor. Well, that's very good. So, you see, because some unless you don't have challenges, you're not going to buckle up. So we can extend that. So Pastor Peter, by the time office resumes, give me the average Sunday attendance of all the churches. So I'm going to post it on the group and then put what the target is for convention. Now, for the numerical goals, I'm thinking how that would possible, except we'll not give a percentage for our numerical goals also. Maybe, I think 50%, because again, the thing about numerical growth is sometimes you have a bulk sum that comes, sometimes you don't have a bulk sum that comes. So except we'll now do the average income per month. So let's put it on the table. The numerical growth is sorted out. So we're going to post every church average attendance for 2024, and then the expected growth by convention. I'm going to post that in the next couple of weeks. Now, for the financial goals, I don't know how we're going to do that. If we put percentage, sometimes, I don't know how that churches are with their finances. Sometimes you have a box sum that comes, and sometimes have a box sum. I said we'll now do an average monthly income, and then give a percentage. The floor is open.
If I can suggest, sir, percentage will be fine, sir.
Okay.
Average percentage growth will be fine. Percentage will be fine. Yes, sir.
What percentage do we give ourselves so that we are all on our toes? 50% or 100%? Let's talk, please. It's good.
I will suggest 100%, sir.
Okay, between now and when?
Between now and end of next year, sir. We must double.
Okay, 2025. I think that's fair enough. 100%.
That's absolutely good. Yeah.
Yes. Any other suggestion apart from 100%? I think that's
for us. We want something.
Any suggestion? Or we agree on the 100? I think 100 is good, but let's take the floor is open, please.
Yeah, 100% is fine.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So yes, Pastor Dim.
Yeah, I think the first step is towards the convention. We can look at the average per month for January up to that May. We know how much each church brings in at the end of the first 5 months. Then we use that to target the first half of the year. Then we look at the second half to have a target. Normally, it would have been better to do it on month. This is what came in January. This is the percentage above that we want on it. And same thing for February, so that we don't wait till the end of the half year or the end of the year. We do it month. If we know what comes in for Bodija now for January this year, which is 2024, we can now target, if we are saying 100% or 50%, we put it on, we look at what we want for January. So it's a month thing. We don't have now to wait till the end of the first half to be able to say, okay, let's review. That's so that it's easy to review month. Each church will know where they are by the end of each month. They will know what to target for the second month. Just like that. That's what I think.
Well, okay. Any other suggestion?
Just as a contribution, I think what Pastor Diemi is saying is still the same thing we are saying. Okay. Because if we break it, if we say we are going to double what we're doing 100%. 100% essentially means that if let's say it is 2 today, by next year, and it should be 4. Yeah. So what that actually means is that 2 by which you are going to grow, we can divide it by 12. So we know that by the end of January, you must have done 10% of 100. By February, you would have done 20% of 100. By June, essentially, you must have done 50% of 100, and then you can actually track. So I think we're saying the same thing. We're just saying that whatever goal that we have for finance by December 2025, you divide it into 12. And then you can measure yourself like that on a monthly basis.
Okay. Any other input on that?
So that is clear enough, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
If
Okay.
I can just add this, sir.
Yes.
It's just to let every one of us understand that this is not meant to be a pressure. It's actually meant to build our faith and to be able to trust God. And if you can receive it as not just an ordinary goal, we turn it into a faith confession. And then that way, we can actually grow into that grace. Otherwise, if we think negative of it, because I've had churches whereby they start saying, now we're being given
Targets.
targets, and we have to meet financial targets. I have not, and then they lose track of the real spiritual sense of this. So it's actually a faith project. It is not pressure, so that we don't turn it into what's supposed to be grace and strength to us don't now become a pain in the real sense and being seen from a negative end. So this is something that will also involve praying for our members to grow financially, to grow spiritually. It's something to really help us to focus on prayer, and it's a faith project. So I just thought to add that so that we don't have a means whereby anyone is feeling under pressure and is turning, we now have targets in before we know it.
Yeah.
But without targets, nothing can grow.
Yes, sir.
I mean, maybe because I'm speaking from the financial perspective as a banker.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everything, if you don't give targets, people will just sit in their comfort zone and we will not get anything accomplished. Yes. So it's a balance. We need to know that just like in our individual lives, we need goals. Otherwise, people will just plateau. People will not even know whether we're going forward or whether we're going backward. And life must be lived forward. Life has to be aspirational.
Yes, sir.
In Lagos Church, for instance, if you permit me, I mean, at a point I said we're not going to come back to headquarters to come and collect money for rent. That was what we used to do. When it was time for rent, we will come cap in hands and come back to headquarters and say, please, so rent is due. But for the past, how many years now, since we had that as a goal and announced it in church that we will not go back and we must have our goals, for that, we have not done that. And we have been paying our rent conveniently.
Wow.
So until we live life forwards and we live life in an aspirational manner, because these are aspirations, I mean, it will not happen. I remember this year in Lagos Church, I said it very clearly that we're going to be able to save and so amounts of money. And I was just looking at our balance now, and I could not just imagine that in Lagos Church, you might say we're small or whatever, but I mean, I don't want to say how much we have in our balance. But I mean, yeah, we have over 20 million in Lagos Church accounts.
Wow.
So we have 22 million, saved this year. So, I mean, it's, I can say it because, I mean, we're all pastors here. I mean, so it was an aspiration, and it is something that, so we need, I think, setting goals and setting targets, it's something that will help us to move forward as churches. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. That's very important. So, it's not a pressure, but see, I've discovered, like Pastor Bayo said, there's no target. Coupled with discipline, a church will keep struggling financially. And see, one of the things that I was taught when before I started church, your church finance will reflect your personal finance. That's what I was taught. Your church finance will reflect your personal finance. So if you don't have savings as a pastor, your church will not have savings as a pastor. If your church is struggling to do certain things financially, you're also struggling financially. That's what I was taught. And that's what I brought into ministry. So it takes target, and discipline. Because there's always something to spend money for in church. If there's no discipline and then doing the right confessions, teaching people how to manage their finances, teaching a stewardship, then, you look like you don't have a vision for the church because you don't have the finances, So what, again, we're sharing to help ourselves. What we do in the headquarters is we divide our income into what we call portions or percentages. So any income that comes, 22% we pay central. The balance is 100%. Out of that balance 100%, the next thing we take out is 10% as tithes. What we can only spend is the 90%. So out of that 90%, I think we have 10% for savings or 15% for savings. We have, I think, 10% for outreaches, 35% for salaries. We divide it into portions. And we try as much as possible to keep to that percentage. It's discipline. So now we have some savings, I don't know how much is there, that is in an account that if we take it, we'll lose our interest. So that the money, so any money that is excess, I say, pay it into UBA. We can't go there. It takes discipline. That's why, again, this is a balance of targets and seeing it as a faith project. So I think it will help us. Just like numerical growth is also a faith target and also grace, but there's no pressure. But we have to put personal pressure on ourselves. So it's not that, I know some churches, when they do this, they also begin to forge